The recent leaks around Avengers Doomsday are some of the wildest things we've ever seen in the entire history of Marvel Studios. Not, oh, a little spoiler here and there wild. I'm talking multiversal chaos, PR headache, and legal department with a permanent migraine wild. And yes, this is already causing a massive problem for Disney. But there is a weirdly positive plot twist buried in all this mess. Hey, how you doing? In a recent interview, the actor who plays Beast, the big, blue, furry genius we saw in the Marvel's post-credit scene, said a bunch of things he absolutely should not have said about Avengers Doomsday. He casually dropped that he shot scenes with Thor, with Robert Downey Jr., and with Pedro Pascal as Mr. Fantastic. And then, only after saying all that, he realized, oh, I probably wasn't supposed to say any of this. Which, yes, correct. Disney snipers just marked your location, my friend. For anyone who missed it, Beast is the character who greets Monica Rambeau in that post-credit scene from the Marvels, when she ends up in the X-Men universe. That alone already hinted that his character would be important. But now, with these comments, it pretty much screams, I am in the middle of the multiversal mess of Avengers Doomsday. Whatever multiverse chaos we're going to see unfold in that movie, you can almost be sure Beast is right at the center of it. And just those little oops, I overshared lines from the actor already guarantees some huge scenes for the film. They reveal more than the studio would ever want confirmed at this stage. He specifically says he enjoyed acting opposite Robert Downey Jr. and Chris Hemsworth, the one and only Thor. That alone strengthens a rumor I've already talked about here on the channel, that Thor is going to have a very important, very central role in Doomsday, which honestly makes a lot of sense. Thor is Loki's brother, and Loki is now a key figure inside the TVA, the Time Variance Authority. Everything points to Loki being one of Dr. Doom's main targets in this story. So of course it tracks that Thor would be pulled into this. You can almost see the emotional trailer moment already. You know that long-awaited scene where Thor and Loki finally meet again, paying off that promise from Avengers Infinity War, when Loki tells him, the sun will shine on us again, brother? There are huge chances we're going to see that promise actually fulfilled in Doomsday. That's the kind of thing Marvel loves to cash in on. Now, this interview could absolutely get the Beast actor in trouble. He might already have a very angry email in his inbox with urgent in all caps. But I wish the chaos stopped there. It doesn't. At the same time, tons of supposedly new scenes and set photos from Avengers Doomsday have been flooding the internet. And a huge chunk of them are completely fake. Full AI, generated images, fabricated behind-the-scenes shots, and they're everywhere. If you follow the channel, you know I fell for the first wave. When those first white background character images popped up, I genuinely thought they were real. The styling was right, the compositions made sense, and at that moment the tech already looked scarily good. But as the days went by, more and more images appeared, each batch more elaborate than the last. For example, there's that selfie of Teyana Paris as Photon, who showed up in the Marvels and got stuck in the X-Men universe. In this fake, she's supposedly interacting with the X-Men in Avengers 5. In the image, she's in a new suit, smiling next to Cyclops in a costume very close to the comics, with Gambit standing there too, all together in this perfect, we just wrapped a scene selfie. And to make it worse, they mocked it up to look like something she posted in her own Instagram stories. That kind of image is extremely convincing because it mixes several layers at once. Real rumors that actually might be true, fan wishes and dream scenarios, and real behind-the-scenes elements that have already leaked before. Some time ago, a real photo of Robert Downey Jr. with his hair cut very short made the rounds. I even speculated here on the channel that he might have done that to make it easier to wear different wigs on set. Then you add the constant reports from several reliable sources that Tobey Maguire will show up in Avengers Doomsday. Take those pieces, throw them into an AI image generator, and boom, you get something that looks like definitive proof of the rumors. It's engineered to hit exactly the weak spots of our brains. And it's not a coincidence that all of these leaks suddenly exploded now. Google just released a major update to Gemini, their AI model that can generate images and videos with absurd quality. In my last video, I tested this. I used Gemini to recreate the already confirmed visual of Dr. Doom. Same armor design, same details, and I generated a brand new white background promo image. That one, I made it myself. I also generated a version with Robert Downey Jr. unmasked as Doom. So you can see the problem. If I can do that at home as a test, imagine what someone motivated and a little malicious can do with time and intention. That's one of the reasons we can be pretty sure the majority of these recent set photos are fake. It's not even that hard to pull off anymore. Another huge sign, Marvel and Disney are not striking those posts down. Normally, Disney is incredibly fast when it comes to real leaks. If something legit hits the internet, a frame from the edit, a real behind-the-scenes shot that reveals too much, the DMCA takes it down fast. Think about it. A photo that reveals a full new costume or a major actor on set being posted by the actor themselves on social media? Completely unthinkable. That's career suicide level stuff. So the fact that these images are circulating freely without Disney's legal team going nuclear is already a strong indication that they're not real. What we're seeing is basically the next evolution of fan art. A few years ago, we had tons of fan-made posters, fake announcements, dream crossovers, scenes we wished existed, and you could usually tell they were fan work. Now, with AI, anyone can do this. Not just trained artists, not just people who know Photoshop. With one of these tools, a random person can create something that looks like a legit studio asset. I'm not even going to dive too deep here into whether I'm for or against people using these tools on a personal level. That topic alone is huge and honestly needs serious legal attention. And that's where the real problem is for big studios. What Disney, Marvel, and the actors are dealing with right now is a wave of copyright violations. Not just of their characters, but of their actual faces, their likenesses, their brand. Think about the actors for a second. Do you really think Pedro Pascal, Robert Downey Jr., Ryan Gosling, whoever you're seeing in these AI images, gave permission for an AI service to recreate their faces in ultra-realistic fake movie stills? Of course not. Their entire career is built around controlling where and how their image appears. That's literally part of their job. So what we're watching is either the beginning or maybe the middle of a massive crisis that Hollywood is going to go through. Marvel Studios is just the most visible battlefield right now. I've talked about this in another video before, but Marvel in particular has to be very careful. If anyone can generate convincing fake images of their characters and actors at industrial scale, Marvel loses exclusivity over how those characters appear. And that cuts straight into the heart of their business. The closest parallel is piracy. Letting this kind of thing slide completely without any response is almost like silently approving large-scale illegal distribution of your IP. You could argue, very fairly, you generated an image of Dr. Doom with AI. Are you saying Disney should sue you? I don't think that makes sense. In cases like this, the main issue isn't an individual person running a test. The issue is the tool itself being trained on material without permission and then mass-producing derivatives. Chasing one random person in a sea of users won't solve that. So even if Disney and Marvel decide to sue the companies behind these tools, I honestly don't know if it will be enough to stop the wave. I'm not a prophet. I have no idea exactly what AI is going to do to Disney and Marvel's business long term. But my perception is that things look pretty apocalyptic for the traditional Hollywood model. Even if they somehow control AI usage, I still think the whole way we make and sell movies is going to change radically. And here's where the positive twist comes in. Remember that behind-the-scenes clip that leaked from Spider-Man No Way Home? The one that showed Andrew Garfield on the scaffolding, clearly on set, clearly in costume, clearly real? That clip actually helped prove something else. Why you need to subscribe to the channel. Have you subscribed yet? Go on, give it a boost. You can drop a like too, that helps a ton. Back to the leak. That Andrew Garfield footage was a short little video taken straight from the editing timeline. A brutal, undeniable leak. It even showed part of a scene that ended up in the final movie. That's about as serious as it gets. What saved Sony and Marvel at the time, at least in terms of hype management, was the intense debate over whether the footage was real or fake. Deepfake technology was starting to become mainstream, and a lot of people convinced themselves that the video was just a sophisticated fake. A YouTuber even trolled the internet by trying to recreate the shot using deepfake techniques, just to show how it could have been faked. That stunt put a huge question mark in everyone's head. Wait, so was the leak real or not? In the end, we know it was real, but creating a fake version of a real leak ended up protecting the truth. It injected just enough doubt to keep some of the surprise intact. That's basically what's happening now with Marvel. If you follow the channel, you know that tons of information about Avengers Doomsday has already leaked through text rumors, plot details, cameos, character arcs, some from very reliable sources, some from people you should never bet your house on. And this isn't new. This is not just a Doomsday problem. Marvel has a long history of leaks. Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania is a perfect example. Months before the premiere, we already knew the entire plot. Sometimes we didn't want to believe it, but it was all there, including the original ending that they later changed, all leaked before the movie even hit theaters. More recently, the same thing happened with Fantastic Four. Months before release, we already had a pretty detailed picture of the story. So it's natural to assume something similar will happen with Avengers Doomsday and the upcoming Avengers Secret Wars. The spoiler machine never sleeps. In that context, these AI-generated behind-the-scenes images are both a nightmare and a gift for Marvel and Disney. On one hand, they're a huge headache. Legal risk, brand confusion, violation of actors' likenesses, all of that. They'll likely have to chase down tech companies, argue about training data, and deal with the fallout for years. On the other hand, the flood of fake images helps to camouflage the real leaks that have already happened. We still have those concept arts I've shown here on the channel, which look very legit and reveal Doctor Doom's design and other key characters. We still have that embroidered crew bag that was given as a gift to the people working on the film. Those things are much harder to dismiss. But when you throw them into a sea of fake AI leaks, suddenly it's harder for the average viewer to know what's real and what isn't. That gives Marvel more room to actually keep some surprises. So in a strange way, all this noise helps Marvel hide the signal. And of course, if you want someone to keep digging through this mess, separating real from fake, you can count on me here. I'm going to dive even deeper into this stuff and be even more careful with every leak that shows up. The Avengers Doomsday trailer is coming. You can bet that as we get closer, more and more material, real and fake, is going to hit the internet. If you watched all the way to the end, drop today's secret phrase in the comments, "Now I know." Right now I know, so I can see you made it to the very end. Over here on the side, there are other videos you can already check out. Thanks so much for your phenomenal company, and I'll see you in the next one.